Hello and welcome to episode 107 of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe, and as always, I'm joined by Wib. Say hello.
Hello.
And I am also joined by the incredibly hirsute, petite, and altogether discreet drummer Matt. How are you?
Definitely not discreet. Hello, I'm good. How are you, Snipe?
I'm fine.
Also not discreet, Snipe.
I think if anyone, gun to your head, describe Snipe, discreet would literally be the only word that never comes up. And the next would be sexually appropriate. I don't know. Not in a creepy way, just I just think about dicks about every 3 seconds.
I was going to say, I'm not sure that descriptor is something you really want to have hanging over your head.
Okay. Sexually explicit?
I'm not even sure, I think you're talking a big game here.
I'm really not.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's
if someone just, I don't know, randomly verbally ejaculated the word dicks, they'd probably be closer to, my essence. I believe. And I don't know who this person is going around threatening to kill people with an actual firearm, unless they describe me succinctly. But I'm sure nothing bad will come of that.
What are we doing?
We're recording a podcast, honey. Get your fucking head in the game.
Okay.
Snipe, apart from whatever any of this is, what have you been up to these last few weeks?
Well, I've been, because the Rona is miserable and everything is bad, I've been a bit rough mental health wise, so I've been watching a lot of horror movies. A lot of them. So I'll start off with this is more kind of in the order that I watched them. So I watched Paranormal Activity, which was incredibly, that was kind of a breakthrough movie at the time when it came out 400 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, it's one of those movies that had a ridiculous impact on cinema despite costing
20 grand or something stupid. It costs next to no money.
Yeah, for a movie that's basically free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it did make quite a lot of money. And to be fair, it did kind of just kick open a door that hadn't been opened in recent memory. It's
that people can make bad films and be successful. I don't think that's new.
No, it's just the way it kind of because the main characters, it's Mika and I don't know the lady's name. The wife. Wow. I can't remember her name and it's driving me nuts. It's whatever.
It's fine, you've watched 15 terrible horror movies in the last 2 weeks.
I watched a Thai horror movie and I can remember the names from all of them.
That's probably because that's the last movie you watched.
Yeah, and way more interesting than this movie. I think that's being unfair. I guess, especially, when it was released, it was new and it was interesting and it was a bit of a breath of fresh air, and they did, they literally put up a thing at the beginning of the movie the fucking wherever police department would like to extend its thanks to the friends and family of the two people who are in the movie, and, the main characters have the first names of the actors who played them, so Mika is Mika something, and...
Woman's name is woman something.
Yeah. So, stop making me out to be a fucking chauvinist. Pisses me off. Pisses me off almost as much as women... No, I'm not even making that joke. I'm being a twat deliberately.
Yep.
But yeah, honestly... I was expecting this to be genuinely, unsettling. And there was a couple of pretty good scares. I can't fucking remember them now, because I've watched, 10 other horror movies. But credit where credit's due, there was a couple of, they turn around and there's a fucking person with a sheet over their head and then the person disappears or whatever, unless I'm remembering that from fucking, The Conjuring or the Insidious series.
That is a scare from one of the Annabelle movies.
Yeah, it's... all of them are fucking doing it now.
This is going to be a good...
I'm not going to dwell too much on it, but yeah, and it was just kind of like, oh yeah, there's demon, and you're like, snore. It's like, because this is the thing, because I like watching, like, poltergeist movies a lot, mainly because they're fucking hilarious to me, because it's like, at one point, the girl gets, like, picked up and dragged out of bed into the hall, and then there's, like, the demons, like, opening and closing the door repeatedly, or, like, pulling the covers off, and I'm just sitting there going, if I could see the demon, this would be fucking slapstick comedy.
Well, quite a few of those scenes you can see the rope that's doing it, so.
Yeah, but I mean, I couldn't, because maybe I didn't have my glasses on, I can't fucking remember. But yeah, and, like, I'm just imagining some creepy little guy that looks like fucking, like, John Goblicon. Like, little goblin dude just being like, I'm gonna put my feet in this flower. Ooh! And I'm like, I can't take this seriously. It's too fun. So, honestly, it was entertaining, if not for just me sitting there going, haha, I'm imagining, like, Warwick Davis just bursting into this person's bedroom and just stealing their fucking bed covers. Because that's just what I think poltergeist is. It's so funny. But I mean, like, it was an interesting idea. But yeah. Next one, I'm gonna move up quick fire. Ouija house.
Unfortunately, not about Waluigi or Luigi.
No, I'm sorry. Upset. I'm sorry, everyone. It's the Ouija board.
Quick question.
Yes.
This is going to be a thing. So for the last couple of weeks, every time I turn round because I've been doing a lot of editing and stuff over the last few weeks.
I'm kind of worried what you're going to say here. What are you going to accuse me of?
Every time I turn round, you are watching a movie in which someone is fucking around with a Ouija board. How many movies have you watched that contain a Ouija board in the last couple of weeks?
1, 2...
I mean, at least 2 of them in this list.
3?
It's gotta be more than 3.
I'm pretty sure it's just 3.
It's more than 3.
I'm certain it's 3.
At least 2 of them literally have Ouija in their title.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but 3 of them...
I assume they have a TM in there as well, or whatever.
Oh, no, this is the...
Ouija TM Hasbro, or whatever it is.
Ouija TM Hasbro.
Well, isn't it Hasbro that made up the Ouija board?
Probably.
I can't remember who owns it.
It's one of the toy companies that made it up as a toy, and then people got a bit too into it.
Yeah, apparently.
Really.
I looked this up a while ago. Apparently, they were just a thing that people had. It was just kind of a parlor trick thing.
Yeah.
And over time, it became
My
associated
mother
with...
was like carnival huckster, and she was like, never play with one, because I played with one when I was a kid, and
look how she turned out. That's a good warning.
Right?
That's a good warning.
That's why Ouija boards are so scary, because my mum was fucked.
All right, no, consider me turned.
Ouija boards are real. Their power is evil. My mother is proof
They've got nothing to do with, like, demons or ghosts or something. It's just if you use one, you turn into a right twat, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. I'm as surprised as you guys, but there we go. But yeah, Ouija house. This one was really bad. And it starts off and it's like in the 80s and it's Tara Reid. And like she's supposed to be maybe like 19 or something, but you can tell she's like 45, and they've just dressed her up like a college student, which is fine. I don't mind that. It's just everyone she's with is at least 20 years younger than her visibly, and it just looks like she's a really she's like a predatory old woman hanging out with kids.
The Luke Perry phenomena.
Yeah. So they go to this house and they play the Ouija board, and then the woman she's with gets dragged back into a closet while she's sitting in the chair, and it's like, oh no, and then Tara Reid gets like yeeted out the window, and then it cuts to like current day, and it's this girl who's like, I'm a witch, and like all the good people are blonde women, and all the bad women are brunettes.
Huh.
Yeah, and the main character, I can't fucking remember her name. I'm just gonna call her like Ariel or something, because she's so fucking 2-dimensional. She is.
Nice. My mom and I are white witches, and we do good magic because magic is beautiful.
And then they go to this house to do Ouija stuff with her cousin, who's also a good witch because she's a blonde. And they do the Ouija, and shit goes down, and then there's like
Sorry, do the Ouija is a phrase.
They do the Ouija, but like...
I feel like that needs a dance.
It does. Swing your arms from side to side, do a Ouija house. There we go, perfect. It's just, you swing your arms a bunch. It's just flossing. I've rebranded flossing. I'm sorry, everyone.
Fortnite will steal it as a dance instantly and then never pay you money for it.
Yeah. So, yeah, they go to this house that, like, fucking mum witch is like, don't ever go there, it's evil or something. And she's like, but Mommy, I'm going to go over here. And she goes and she takes her friends. And they invite her boyfriend's friend's girlfriend, who got drunk at a party and forced herself on White Witch Girl's boyfriend. And they invite her because White Witch Girl is like, oh, I want to scare her with the Ouija board. And so, like, this girl is, again, so two-dimensional, and she draws a Ouija on her tummy and just goes out, like, with a just in her bra, and is like, ooh, do this on me. And they're like, okay, we'll get this fucking vase of witch stones and use that as a planchette, which, if you don't know, is the, like, little viewfinder. You're supposed to move, like, with a little circle in it, so. And they play on her, and then you can literally see, like, because it films kind of, like, from beneath it, you can see that it's actually taped to the actor's hands with just sellotape.
Well, yeah, because you can't,
Not even spirit, nothing like that, it's just sellotape, and it really dwells on it, so you're like, well, okay. And
because if you were trying to, like, move one of those across a human body,
it's like they've all got their hands on it, and it would stutter and skid, but the thing is that it's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be moving of its own accord, because there was some fucking, like, weirdo just living in the forest who got a bunch of brunette women who were witches and made them all evil. I think there was, like, one blonde one, but she was the secret good one. So, yeah. And they're all sitting around, like, the girl who made out with White Witch Girl's boyfriend, and they're moving the stone, and it starts moving on its own. And they're like, is anyone here? And it keeps going up, and then the stone just gets forced down her throat, and they're all like, oh no.
If only we could have done something about this.
Yeah, really. It just takes so long, and it's like,
If only any character here had agency.
Yeah, and then she gets sick and possessed, and then they realise that it's this evil warlock who was just some fucking Burke in a really shit wig. And had a bunch of bones in his hair. He just sat in the woods and went, let's just kill people for sacrifices because I've got a huge dick, and everyone should think I'm awesome.
I think that is like 80% of warlocks.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan.
He's like at least 50% of that descriptor is pretty accurate to your D&D warlock.
Yeah, very much so. And the funny thing about this is they destroy the Ouija board, but not the one on the girl, because that, I think they do clean it off her, but she's like really sick, and then she keeps getting possessed and like screaming and running at things, and it turns out the house that they're staying in is a Ouija board.
What?
Hence Ouija house.
Oh,
they put it in the title, and yet still it is a silly reveal.
Yeah, and like she's like possessed girl is running around tearing things out the wall, and they're like, oh, the whole house is a Ouija board. I can't remember what his name is. Fucking Warlock Smithers or something. I don't fucking know. Something that strikes fear into your heart. And it was just fucking dog shit. It was honestly, like, it was funny bad, especially because all the characters are so two-dimensional and shit, and everything sucks. And, like, people get killed by the spirits, and then they just find them around the house, and it's like, okay. And then, like, I'm gonna spoil a bit for you. There's, like, two characters that get away. Guess which female character gets away? I'll give you a hint, they're blonde. And then they're just talking. It's like, oh, isn't it weird how 3 months have passed and I still mourn for the people we lost? And the other person's like, yeah, isn't it great how we were cleared of all wrongdoing? And it's like, wow, just tidy that up in a nice, neat bow. And then there's the really, really awkward, like, sequel bait, which all horror movies have to fucking do.
Mm-hmm.
It was fucking tedious.
I legitimately, I'm by no means the biggest horror fan or anything. I don't dislike horror films, but it's just not something I put too much of my life into. But if there is one thing that I utterly hate about horror films, it is that
sequel bait.
They feel the need to, at the end of nearly every film, have something to, like, bait a sequel.
Yeah.
Because it would be cool if it didn't happen all the time, because then it would be shocking, or it could be a cool turnaround. But because you know it's coming at the end of everything, it's just, oh, so what's the bad thing that's going to happen at the end? Oh, there we go. I just don't know why they keep doing it. It's like, it's just this thing where they've decided they have to do it at the end of every movie, even though it often takes away from the narrative.
Do have a couple of movies in here that don't do that.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It'll be obvious why, because they do kind of flaunt, like, what's the word? Not flaunt convention, but ignore it.
Oh, they sort of, you know.
It starts with an F, I can't remember what the word is. But yeah, I saw another one which was not really a horror movie, more of a thriller, called Searching, which was actually really good. Oh. And it was kind of like what Unfriended was trying to do. Unfriended, if you don't know, is a Facebook desktop
I remember this one.
horror where it's like everything is done on the screen. And this is the same.
Cinematography by Shadowplay.
I mean, it's an interesting idea, and, you know, Unfriended fucking sucked at it. So, you know, I was a bit, like, I had reservations about Searching, but it pulled it off. It did really well. And it's like, you know, it's about a dad whose daughter goes missing, and he has to, like, do a lot of, like, research themselves, because, shock horror, the police are inept, and they're just not finding anything, and he has to find all these clues, and he checks her phone and her laptop and all this kind of stuff, and it's you forget that it's kind of going through computers, but I mean, it's clever. And it's not like, oh, hang on, guys, I'm recording this. It's just, oh no, you just see through, like, the cameras, you see through screens. So it's every time they call each other, it's FaceTime, you know, that kind of thing.
So it's less trying to do a straight up kind of found footage kind of thing, and more it's just offering a different perspective on a story.
Yes. And honestly, it worked really well. Not much to say about that. Just very good. Actors were fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyable. I played a really scary game. Sonic Forces. I bought that, and I have my OC, because that's the one where you have your original Sonic character do not steal. Where they were just like, fuck, we need money. Let's just put it so you can make your own OCs in there. And the writing is fan-fucking-tastic.
You mean one line is fan-fucking-tastic.
And it's worth the price of admission. So Knuckles is like, I don't know, he's like the leader, and like, spoiler alert, Sonic dies in the first 10 minutes, I'm sorry, but he's gone now. He's dead forever. Yeah, I'm upset about it as you, because, you know, that'll stick. So Knuckles is in charge, and like Vector is there, Team, like, Knuckles Chaotix, or fucking whatever they're called. And Vector is a crocodile that listens to music with headphones.
Yep.
He's very cool, hip, and with it. And he just turns around at one point, like, during, like, before the level starts, and it just says, oh, this isn't good. And Knuckles turns around and says, and I quote, "None of this is good, Vector. That's why it's called war." And I literally had to I was laughing so hard. And Wib was behind me, and he started laughing so fucking hard.
I was laughing for, like, I'd laugh for a bit, and then I'd stop for 10 seconds, and then I'd remember it again, and then I'd start laughing. I was walking around the flat for literally like an hour.
He would go make a cup of tea, and then I'd just hear laughter, and I'd be like, yeah, he's reliving it, okay.
I could not stop laughing at that line. There is something about how grim a line that is.
Delivered by Knuckles the fucking Echidna.
And especially because so Sonic Forces requires you to accept so much as canon.
Oh, yeah.
It is untrue because it establishes that the stuff that happens in Sonic Generations, where there is old Sonic and new Sonic,
like little chubby baby Sonic,
who's
who
adorable,
is super cute. He shows up.
Like so,
and is canon.
So that whole thing is canon. It has Sonic the Lost World is canon.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic Adventure is canon because Chaos shows up and Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and it kind of alludes to. I mean, it's Knuckles Chaotix.
Yeah.
No one played Knuckles Chaotix because it was on the 32X, and I think officially 3 people ever owned a 32X.
Yep. Also, Matt Mercer's playing Espion, like the chameleon, which is awesome.
Who is one of Team Chaotix,
Yeah. And also Charmy B, who Hoomst no one likes, and I don't know why they keep putting things
No
in.
human likes Charmy B. If you think you like Charmy B, you should think about your feelings more. You're wrong.
I was going to say, if you like Charmy B, you're a crisis actor.
Fucking hell, love.
Well, anyone who comes out and says that they're not is obviously lying.
Yeah, no, it's part of a plan. Big B is putting out the
Big B's putting out the propaganda.
No, not Big B.
Yeah.
I thought Big B was
my
a good one.
dinosaur. My pet dinosaur. Quickly, I want to talk about something that was really amazing, that I just happened upon and just happened to contain Peter Lewis, like one of my favourite voice actors. A podcast on Spotify called The White Vault is a horror podcast where it's all kind of like the main character, it's an ensemble cast, but like the guy who's usually recording, he just wants to document everything for posterity, who's played by David Alt, who does a fantastic smarmy Englishman. An Englishman. And like Peter Lewis is in it, and listening to him speak Russian, that was a religious experience, because I love the Russian language, and I wish I could talk like Peter Lewis. And that's just like, there's a universe out there in the multiverse where I can talk like Peter Lewis and can speak fluent Russian. And that just feels, it makes me happy, because it's beautiful. But yeah, that's really good. That's really spooky. It's got a great ensemble cast. It's got Lani Minella in it, talking about Sonic, who voiced Rouge the Bat in Sonic Adventure. It's really cool. And like they do things where a lot of the members of the team will have like audio diaries, or like if they have any writing, like journal entries, they write it in their own language, so they'll vocalize it, like the character will vocalize their own like journal entry in their native language. So it starts off, say, like Lani Minella's character will be speaking Spanish, and then it'll slowly fade out and fade into her starting it again, speaking in English.
Okay.
I just thought that was really, really cool. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm on to like season 2 now, and it's good. Can recommend. Very fantastic. Next one, back to horror movies, Session 9. Now this is like early 2000s kind of horror movie.
Never heard of this one.
I've heard whispers on the wind about it all over, and I didn't really know what it was, but it's basically mental illness is contagious, and anyone with mental illness is dangerous.
Oh.
Yeah.
So fuck that movie then.
Yeah, it's not very good. I mean, like, the name Session 9 comes from, like, this guy who... Okay, so... The way it's shot, within the first 10 minutes, you know that he kills his family. I'm just gonna... It's literally, like, you see him sitting outside his house, looking at his wife, with like, the little toddler girl. Oh, she's like a year old or something. But she's supposed to be a relatively new baby. But, you know, they can't have them young babies working in cinema because it'll go to their heads too young or something. I don't know. And, like, you just see him, like, staring out, like, miserably. Like, he's got the most pathetic, miserable kind of look on his face. And they lock eyes, and then they white person smile at each other. And I'm like, well, they hate each other. They're obviously going to get divorced. And then you see him, like, go in... And then she's like, oh, 'cause she honestly looks like she should be English, but she speaks with like this stereotypical kind of like Midwestern American accent. So that's the thing that threw me personally, but you know, that probably wouldn't affect many other people. And then you hear like she spills soup on him or something, and then she just starts going, "No, please!" And then it's like, well, he's obviously murdered his fucking family. He's obviously murdered his family. And this session tapes are named after, because again, he and his team are like renovating this old sanitarium where they would record sessions with characters, with patients. And there's one guy he's found a bunch of these tapes and he's listening to them, containing a certain woman who has dissociative identity disorder. But, you know, that thing that everyone called schizophrenia, with multiple personalities. And of course she's got like a little girl called the Princess, and she's got all these. And then there's like, I can't remember what his name is. It's like James or Simon. And that's the personality that they don't want to wake up. So, yeah, I don't mind spoiling it because it's bullshit.
Yeah, I'm going to say this sounds like...
But like, Simon is an extra personality that kills her brother, which is why she's there. But also, Simon is like an actual demon.
Okay.
Who like possesses the main character and makes him kill his family.
I'd say apart from the demon part, I've seen every other part of that in a movie at some point.
It's fucking tedious. It's also it leans real heavy on the whole lobotomy thing, like ice pick lobotomies, like through the eye, like for the tear ducts. There's multiple kind of just gore porn with that happening, of just one of the people being grabbed and then getting a fucking lobotomy. And it's just like, this is really edgy and fucking boring. So yeah, wouldn't recommend Session 9 just because it's very... Even for like the early 2000s, it's still pretty fucking dated.
It just sounds really tedious,
It's
frankly.
tedious, yeah. So I watched another movie to do with Ouija boards, and it's actually called Ouija.
It's just Ouija.
Ouija.
Yeah,
I've been meaning
Ouija.
to say, it's like, what is the official pronunciation of it? Because
It
obviously
should be Ouija, because it's yes in French and German. Ouija.
But basically, I see people say Ouija or Ouija, and that's how everyone
Well, I've
seems
always
to
heard it
pronounce
pronounced Ouija, so it's like, well, okay, I'm not gonna... Yeah, because whenever I see it written down, I want to call it Ouija.
Yeah.
Or, like, Ouija.
Although I do want to point out that we just checked something on the computer, and we found out that there is in fact a movie called Ouija Shark.
Yeah, which was done this year.
Sounds amazing.
And I want to know why you've been watching all of these shite-ass Ouija films
Because
and you haven't...
I cancelled Shudder because it had fuck all on it.
Yeah, but you haven't been watching Ouija Shark. If there's one
Ouija shark.
I was resisting doing that.
It has a 1.8 out of 10 rating.
Yes.
Rotten Tomatoes, it has a perfect way to kill an hour, and you'll have fun if you know what you're getting into.
That sounds like a perfect, whenever we get around to meeting in person again, that is what we should watch as like a welcome
No,
back
we
to
should
hang
watch
out.
Raiders of the Lost Shark.
Okay, we're getting stuck into like weird crap movies. Oh my god, I'm seeing pictures of
It's
it.
a ghost fucking shark.
Oh my
Dude,
fucking
it is
God.
a ghost shark. And it's like haunting somebody's fucking backyard pool.
It's like someone took a picture of their cuddly toy shark and has superimposed it badly in Sony Vegas.
Will you stop bringing up my amazing fucking graphic career? Oh, look, she's petting its nose. Anyway, we've gotten sidelines, and I can't believe it's me reeling this fucking in. Ouija is fucking... It's a dreadful movie. It's not even funny. I can barely remember anything about it. It's just... It's like... Girls decide to play Ouija.
That is amazing, so I've just looked it up. Ouija Shark.
Let me talk about the bad one
Sorry,
first.
No,
Yeah,
let's not talk.
yeah.
You've said it's
Yeah.
bad. Let's move on from... We want to talk about this
Yeah.
movie we haven't seen, Ouija Shark, because it just seems like so much more fun.
I want to talk about Veronica.
Okay, talk about
Which
your other
contains a
movies.
Ouija board.
Okay, go on.
Okay, Veronica is a Spanish horror movie, which I really like watching horror movies from other cultures, providing they're not like, I don't know, like Spanish ones tend to, East Asian ones tend to be genuinely fucking unsettling. I think it's because it's just stuff I'm not really used to.
I guess the tropes of some of the culture's horror can be a little alien to us, so it's fresh, whereas we're used to the tropes of our own horror, so they lose their sting.
Yeah, but no, I tend to kind of be a bit wary, but only because I'm a bit of a coward. But no, it's about a teenage girl called Veronica who basically has to take care of her whole family because her mum is just like, oh no, I work at the diner, yeah, bye. So like her dad died. And she's just kind of been throwing herself into work, and Veronica has to do everything. So she goes and does a Ouija at her Catholic girls' school with her friends. Well, supposed to be with one friend, but another friend shows up and she's a fucking jerk. So, you know, they do the Ouija, and then Veronica gets possessed. Yeah.
I'm still not over that.
But yeah, they do the Ouija, and Veronica gets possessed by something, and then there's like a creepy old nun who's blind, who smokes like a chimney. Who's like, she can see ghosts and stuff, and she's like, oh, you fucked up, kid. Ooh, that's bad. And she's like, yeah, I fucked up. And it just kind of goes from there of like spooky hauntings, and there are some spooky scares. It's honestly, I found it entertaining. It was just interesting to see different spooky poltergeist kind of horror, which I didn't really have I'm just imagining like Doug Jones just knocking books off a fucking shelf or whatever. So yeah, and like the kids are cute and pretty good actors too, so I can recommend. We watched It, the remake.
Yeah,
with Alexander Skarsgård.
It's a good name.
It is a very
strong
good name.
name.
I think it's Skarsgård or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, no, we actually saw that quite recently because we actually visited Wibb's father and brothers. It was so weird, we felt like we were breaking the law.
Breaking into someone else's house. Yep. Like, you're not supposed to go to other people's places. It's weird.
But yeah, saw It, and honestly, I hadn't really... I'm sure I saw the original at some point, or I've at least seen snippets. But I think it's because I've never really given a shit, because I don't find clowns scary. I've never found them scary, and I think they're just really tedious. But I mean, that's me.
Yeah, I'm very much in the camp of I don't like clowns, but I'm not scared of them. I just don't understand why anyone would want them to exist.
Yeah. Some of the effects are really good. Like the opening part kind of reminds me of the opening of Arlington Road, which has a very strong and incredibly dark and gritty opening in which a child of about 8 years old is kind of staggering in a haze down the street. Very muted colours, and the footage is slowed down. And it kind of slowly scrolls down, and you see that his left arm is fucking just shredded. Because he basically was playing with fireworks, and they blew up and exploded in his hand. And, like, there is, like...
That's Arlington Road.
That's Arlington Road. Whereas, like, the beginning of it's like, yeah, Georgie goes and gets his arm mauled off, and it was like, holy shit, I'm just watching a kid just fucking bleed out. But then internally, my brain was like, I have been a kid that age, and I have been around kids that age. That kid would have thought that was fucking awesome. Like, hey, look at my squirty arm stump. They would have loved it. But yeah, honestly, I thought like the whole like layers of teeth and stuff was spooky. What I really didn't like about it was just stuff to do with the original, and like the whole there's a girl in the group, therefore everyone fancies her, and it kind of lingers on this like preteen girl a bit much, and obviously her dad's like being like a sexual abuser to her, because that's the only way you can write an interesting girl character, Stephen. But no, like, apart from that, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that she doesn't end up with Ben.
Yes, absolutely.
Although the fact that she has to end up with anyone is kind of annoying, but whatever. But yeah, no, that was fine. I'd be interested to see the second one, but I have heard very uncomfortable things about it.
I've heard the second It movie is crap. Compared to the first one.
Yeah.
It just does not follow up, and has a bunch of stuff in it that's a bit...
Yeah. I watched a movie called What Keeps You Alive, which is a Canadian like movie about a couple that go and spend a weekend in what's her name? Jackie. It's Jackie and Jules. So they go and spend the weekend in Jackie's family like lake cabin thing, and it was really cool because they're a lesbian married couple, and it wasn't like the whole movie wasn't about how we're gay, and it wasn't obviously written by straight people about gay people suffering, you know what I mean?
It was incidental.
The fact that they were gay, and I was like, this is awesome. Because, like, they're shown to be in a loving relationship, although it does, because it's like a horror/thriller movie, it does kind of go a bit downhill. But, like, I thought it was really good. The actors were fantastic. You can tell it's filmed in Canada because, Jules goes over to, like, the other side of the lake and introduces herself to her wife's, like, childhood friend and her husband, and the guy's, like, leaning over the balcony, and he's talking to her, and then he goes, I'll be right down. Sorry. And then goes down, and I'm like, yep, Canada. Fucking love it. Love me some Canada. And it's well acted, it kept me guessing, and it was good. And it has I like the ending a lot. I liked it. It wasn't sequel baited.
Yes.
Which is just like, yes, this is good. I watched a Thai horror/thriller called The Promise, which I would give hefty warnings for that because there's a lot of suicidal ideation. The main plot is based around like a suicide pact that one person doesn't go through with, and therefore ghosts. And it's got a few really dodgy things about suicide. And it's like towards the end, there's certain things that happen that just feel bad. So, I mean, while it was an interesting experience, I probably wouldn't recommend that one because it's a bit of a downer. And the last one, which I am actually quite excited to talk about that I saw, is The Dead Don't Die. Which, you need to know a bit about this before you go in, because it has a very poor rating on, like, Sky Movies, and I know exactly why, because holy shit. So,
I
thought it was fantastic. I mean, it had Adam Driver and Bill Murray in it, and Tilda Swinton.
What?
And Steve Buscemi.
And Danny Glover.
What is this film?
Yeah, right? Like, and it was like, it's about zombies, which I was like, but no, it's perfect. And it starts off with this really, like, fantastic, like, Western song that is just entitled The Dead Don't Die. And it's Adam Driver and Bill Murray are, like, very small-town police officers, but don't hold that against them. They're actually quite charming. And, and they're, like, just going on for a patrol. And, like, The Dead Don't Die, the music, like, the song comes on, and Adam Driver's like, oh, I love this song. It's really good, and he turns it up. And Bill Murray's like, this sounds really familiar. And he's like, yeah, it's The Dead Don't Die. It's by, I can't remember his name, like, Sturgeon Sims or something. And he's like, yeah, I don't think I've heard it before, but it feels really familiar. And Adam Driver, in his perfectly dry wit, just goes, it's the theme tune. And he goes, oh, it's the theme tune. He's like, yeah, this is the theme. And there's like moments where Adam Driver's character will just break the fucking fourth wall. He will shatter it. He will stamp on its fucking like writhing pieces, and it is really fucking funny.
The thing about the movie is
it's so meta, and it's such a love letter to just horror movies and horror references.
It's chock full of references. Like the fact that Adam Driver drives a smart car.
A red smart car
that, when it pulls up, makes it sounds like the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the most on the nose.
He has a fucking Star Wars keyring, and Tilda Swinton literally, like, she takes his car keys and she's like, Star Wars, an excellent fiction. She's also Scottish in this, and wields a katana, and is just amazing at fighting. She's fucking, like, Connor McLeod or whatever.
Yeah. But it's the thing about the movie here that I think is the most, like, unusual thing is the entire thing. It's like a zombie apocalypse movie, but it's... Oh, Iggy Pop's in it as well.
Iggy Pop is a zombie, and he's like...
Yeah.
I mean, that's a true statement for real life. What about the film?
Yeah.
But the whole thing is done with this really kind of like low key like thing where no one ever really gets like super.
Oh, no, there's
upset.
one character who's just like who's acting normal, and Adam Driver I don't think he emotes throughout the entire movie.
No, he doesn't.
He's just kind of like, like he kills Selena Gomez. He cuts off Selena Gomez's head, and he's like, and they're like, "What the fuck did you do that for?" And he's like, "Oh, they're killed by zombies, so yeah, I just." It's like, well, they weren't zombies. It's like, well, not yet. No, they're gonna be.
Yeah.
And like within the first 5 minutes, there's like Iggy Pop and this other person kills like the diner staff, and Adam Driver immediately goes in and goes, I'm thinking zombies. And everyone's like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's obviously zombies. Okay, so it's zombies now. And then they just carry on.
Yeah.
It's like this, like outside is going to shit, and like there's like one lady police officer who's like, I love the name Minerva, but they call her Minnie.
Mm.
And yeah, like she's freaking out. She's acting like the only person who's actually in a zombie movie. And Bill Murray's just confused. And is like...
He's just mildly annoyed that the zombie apocalypse is happening.
Yeah, and Adam Driver's just like,
All of these things just sound like the actors aren't getting in character and they're just playing themselves.
Basically.
Yeah, and it fucking works so well. It's so weird how entertaining it is. Because, like, I can imagine a lot of people would hate it if they thought it was just a standard zombie movie. This is just someone who sat down and went, you know what, fuck this. I just love horror movies.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to just have fun.
Yeah, I can
And it is so fun.
I can 100% understand why it is a movie that a lot of people don't like.
Yeah.
Because it's a movie that's basically just fucking around.
It is just fucking around, and I can imagine every day on that set was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's just fucking around with the budget, and it doesn't it's not got any kind of grand like narrative to tell. It's just things happen, and occasionally like there's things in it that should not be spoiled that just happen, and even the characters in the movie are just like, huh.
Didn't expect that shit. What the fuck? It's so fucking good.
That wasn't in the script.
Yeah, I think that's actually a thing.
You know, in a weird way, it kind of reminds me of like a low-key version of something like the old spoof movies.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Like your...
But with like no homophobia or transphobia.
It's like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, but without the like racist jokes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's a very odd, like, because we were just sat there, just like, okay,
this is happening now.
This is okay. Wow, because like I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was just a silly zombie movie, and then seeing how meta it was and how in deep the references were, like how many layers deep it was nuts. Like
basically every character, as every part of their name is a reference to a horror movie or some other well-known movie.
Yeah.
Like, just every character is like, oh, this person's name is a combination of...
Or it's a spoonerism of a famous horror character or something. And, like, there's basically the stand-in for the Bates Motel. And, But I found that incredibly enjoyable, and it had Adam Driver in it, so...
I mean, that's enough for you, right?
That's enough. I think that should be enough for most people, because he's just great. So... But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing.
Okay.
This is watching lots and lots of horror movies. And there's a few things I haven't put in because I either didn't care about them, and you shouldn't either, or I haven't gotten that far in them.
Yeah, think about the movies that she hasn't mentioned.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. If I'm mentioning shit like Ouija House, yeah.
Now can we talk about how we all need to go watch Ouija Shark?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So
next episode's going to be a Ouija Shark spoiler cast.
Yeah, we definitely all need to go off and somehow watch Ouija Shark. I don't know if you can buy this on DVD. I need
We might end
this
up
in my
writing
life.
and filming it ourselves just because we need it to exist, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Wibble It.
Yes.
Just a little bit. What have you been up to, sweetie?
I presume
She says as if she doesn't live in the same fucking house as this guy and we've been quarantined together.
Yeah, I mean, I presume that there are things that I have done, but I believe at some point...
you have not done things.
I believe at some point either Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones came round and did the memory flash thing from Men in Black, because I have apparently lost all memory of the vast majority of things I've been doing over the last few weeks.
I think just listening to me talk for 5 minutes will probably do that for you.
No, this was before this as well.
Oh, I don't know. I do talk a lot.
Because I know I've been doing things, but it's all just fallen out of my head. So, I shall try and endeavour to recount the things that I have remembered. I have painted up and restored most of the Space Fleet box. That is one thing I've done. Because we did the most recent Codex Compliant was on the precursor to Battlefleet Gothic. Mm-hmm. And I've been going through and getting those painted, and like one of the Eldar ships was missing a sail and the other sail was damaged, so I've kind of had to fabricate a sail. And,
can't fucking tell. Look at it, because you're very good at that stuff.
Thank you. And pinned both of them in place. So, and that's the last one I've got left to paint, because that's fun.
Oh yeah.
But I have watched a series all the way through.
Ooh.
Bragging.
It's probably not a series you would expect me to watch.
So it's not
Mischievous
a sci-fi
Kiss
or a
in
cartoon.
Tokyo.
You were both talking at the same time there, so I don't know what either of you said.
Okay. Mischievous Kiss in Tokyo.
I do not know what that is.
I watched the entirety of that. It's a Japanese romance live action drama.
Okay, yeah, that's not something I would usually watch.
Yeah, it's kind of got the tropes of this girl fancies this guy who's a twat. She refuses to respect his boundaries and stop chasing him, and he keeps stringing her along and being really kind of abusive to her.
Yeah, no, I would not.
And then they get married.
Yeah, that does not sound like a show that I would watch.
I watched it because I was like, this is so fucking horrible. What the hell?
Okay, well, the show I did watch, I guess it's not actually that far out of left field for me, but it's just a weird thing for me to sit down and decide to watch, which is that I watched the entire run of the I think it was late 90s Silver Surfer cartoon.
Ooh, that was part of the really cool kind of the X-Men and Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was done
Superman.
What made you think of doing that? I'm not saying why you didn't. I'm sure you're about to say that it's quite good or whatever. But how did you pick that out of all of the other ones that Snipe's just listing?
Well, the reason why I watched it is because I remember seeing it when I was a kid, and it's forever sort of been just in my mind because it was, for a kids show, weirdly existential. It was sort of like, do you remember the Spawn cartoon that was made in I think it was the late 90s or early 2000s, that was a very, very adult, but it was mostly Spawn just kind of sitting on, fire escapes, bathed in darkness and his cloak, brooding and monologuing.
I don't mind Spawn existing purely because of the Spawn movie, because he Power Ranger talks throughout the entirety of it, and John Leguizamo is the evil clown dude.
He is the Violator, I believe the clown is actually called.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I might be wrong there, but I'm sure that's what it's actually called.
That's what they called me at college, because I don't know what personal space is.
Again, that's maybe not something you want to attach to yourself.
Also, that's when I'm talking at people, not in a grabby hand way. That would be fucking gross and terrible. But yeah, no, I read Spawn comics, and they're shit. Some people might say, oh, there's one or two arcs that are good. No, you're wrong. You're a crisis actor. Todd McFarlane has hired you and paid you money to tell people that Spawn isn't shit, but it is. It's all fucking garbage. It's just edgy bullshit, and it's just so tedious.
In my life, I have flicked through one Spawn comic and was like, well, this is really well drawn.
Yeah, it's well drawn, but
that's
just
about it.
I mean, the idea of Spawn is cool because he's I'm big scarymans and I've got a big angry angular coat and the chains come out and blah.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the thing that's not Spawn.
Okay.
I
mean, sure. Want to talk about Judge Dredd?
I'm not going to talk about Judge Dredd, no. I'm going to talk about the Silver Surfer, the animated series from the 90s.
I can't remember what his name is supposed to be. And
Nora Rad.
My brain keeps telling me his name is Barry Burton.
No.
Oh, look at this. It's really powerful, especially against eating living planets.
Please, can I just talk about the thing?
No. See, you let me talk for a while, so now I've got a taste for it.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to talk now.
Okay.
And it's you're probably not going to find it interesting because I'm talking about Silver Surfer, but just pretend.
I'll play with my pen. How's that sound?
Please don't play with your pen because you always drop it when you do that, and then we have to remove it in post.
No, I don't.
You do every time.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Listening audience, at all times you cannot hear the pen dropping. That's because it's been removed.
Yes.
I haven't dropped it at all since we started recording. I dropped it 3 times in a row just before we started recording. But now I haven't dropped it like once at all, and I'm really powerful, especially against holding pens.
I'll tell you what, if you do drop it, we're not going to remove it just so everyone at home, knows.
I am going to break this pen holding onto it so fucking tight.
I know. Anyway. But at least you're not going to fucking drop it. I'm going to talk about the Silver Surfer cartoon, made in the 90s.
Fine.
Okay. It is quite good. It's very... You fucking...
I didn't mean to. I swear to God, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Put it down.
Yeah, put it fucking down.
I hate the fact that happened more than anything.
To anyone who thinks that was a setup, you don't know Snipe that well.
Anyway, I'm going to sit on my hands.
Yeah, sit on
I'm actually sitting on my hands, and I'm just going to look at my pen.
Okay.
And then, you know what I'll do? You know what I'll fucking do now? I'll develop telepathy.
And you'll knock
and
it
I'll
off
drop
the table.
pen that way. I'll pick it up and smash it.
Okay. There was a Silver Surfer cartoon that was made in the 90s. It's very much in the vein of the X-Men, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man. I think that's most of them that were done around that time. And they would occasionally have cameos in each other's things, but I don't think the Silver Surfer ever, this version ever showed up in other things. And yeah, it just gets, it's mostly the Silver Surfer kind of roaming around the universe trying to find kind of a place for himself because...
Oh, is he the Herald of Galactus at that point?
Because
okay.
he gets turned... Basically, the first 3 episodes are a really kind of solid thing. It's a possible future subject for Men with Funny Heads podcast.
Ooh, everyone should check out Men with Funny Heads, available where you get all your good podcasts that actually have structure and a really nice Scottish voice. And also
we don't drop pens in.
This is not becoming a fucking thing.
You made it a thing.
No, I didn't. It's just my clumsy fucking fudge hands, because they're probably covered in some kind of candy.
Anyway, the Silver Surfer. The first couple of episodes, put that fucking pen down.
Fuck off.
Anyway, good lord.
So we talked about Iron Man?
The first few episodes of it are basically about Galactus showing up and the character of Norman Rad, who's on this planet that's it makes even the most warlike people want to seek peace. And to save his planet, he basically says, "Okay, Galactus, I'll become your herald, and I will find planets for you." His plan is that he will find planets that have no sentient life on them, so he can save the worst of it. Because the show treats Galactus as less being a malevolent force and more just being a force of nature.
I thought you were going to say less of a malevolent force and more of a hungry bitch.
I mean, that is also true.
He's the hungriest bitch.
And spoilers, the whole thing ends on a cliffhanger. The one interesting thing is how you see lots of characters that have since shown up in the MCU, but in radically different interpretations. So Nebula shows up, but she's just a space pirate.
Cool.
Thanos shows up, but it's Thanos obsessed with the god of chaos and destruction, who's a bit mad and is trying to woo a statue. It's crazy chaos, crazy Thanos.
Okay.
And Gamora shows up, but she's just someone who survived. Survived one of the Galactus destroying their planet.
To be fair, that's just like reading comic books. You're like, oh yeah, this character died, and then they're currently on another team, and you're like, yeah, sure.
Well, it's less that; it's more a completely different version of all the characters with different backstories.
Okay, that is different.
Yeah, no, they're all different. I mean, Thanos is broadly the same. It's just a different storyline of Thanos, but they are different. Especially with Gamora and Nebula, they are not the versions from the MCU that you kind of used to seeing nowadays. So that was kind of interesting to see. The whole thing, it ends on a cliffhanger that never got resolved, so that kind of sucks. But it's an interesting show. I would recommend people check out. Oh, Drax shows up as well, but he's just a superhero cyborg thing. He's just a brain inside a robot.
So he's nowhere near as cool as Glob Herman. Google him, he's amazing.
Why would he be like Glob Herman?
Because he's a brain floating in a suit.
Well, he's a brain floating inside of just jelly.
Yeah, Glob Herman is...
And a skeleton.
Beautiful.
Basically, his body is just goo, and his organs, you can see them.
Yeah, and his eyes and eye stalks are just kind of hanging out. It's really fun.
Yeah, Glob Herman's great.
Glob Herman is amazing.
But yeah, the Silver Surfer cartoon's really interesting. I would kind of recommend it. It's on Disney Plus, so you can just watch it. It's not hard to see anymore. And it's an interesting show. I don't know if I'd say it's good, but it's interesting.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't even really know until like the past few years that the Silver Surfer even had a cartoon. Because when I was growing up, they only really showed 2 cartoons, which is the X-Men animated series and the Spider-Man animated series, and that was literally it.
Yeah, on like a lot, like over here especially, on terrestrial TV, those are the only ones you really saw. Whereas if you had access to Fox Kids,
I honestly wanted Fox Kids so badly.
as well as seeing the Sam and Max cartoon, which was a thing.
Didn't they have like 6 episodes, and they would have weekends of it where they just showed the same 6 episodes back to back constantly?
Yeah, there was an entire day where it was like, we're going to show Sam and Max all day, but there was a single season and it had like 12 episodes. So it showed the full season about 10 times throughout the day.
You ever get the feeling that companies just think of you as a money fucking like pump and just sit there and just don't respect you? Nah, me neither. That'd be weird.
But yeah, Fox Kids had all the other ones, which, the ones I remember, there was a Fantastic Four one, which...
I've always hated the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I don't like the Fantastic Four, but it was alright. There was Iron Man, who was alright. Incredible Hulk, which was alright. There was Silver Surfer, of course. And, I think that was it, apart from the other 2.
Yeah.
I probably mentioned a different one earlier that I have already forgotten about. But yeah, I think all of those are on Disney Plus now. So if you're interested in seeing them, they are kind of cool. Yeah, I mentioned the Spider-Man on the other podcast.
Yeah.
And I should probably go through and watch the X-Men one because it has the best theme tune of basically any cartoon.
It really does. And the first episode is just so funny to me. I think they have, because the first episode is like, oh, look at this shapeshifter they have on the team called Morph. Oh, he's cool. Oh, look, he's dead.
Yeah.
And then, like, he's not actually dead. He's just, like, goes insane because I think Sinister puts a brain bug in his brain. And then it's just
sounds like
oh
X-Men.
No! And it's... Oh, and he has the most annoying fucking laugh. He's like...
Morph does have a really annoying laugh.
He sounds like a toddler who's laughing at you through a bowl of soup. It's awful.
But anyway, I'm going to now... I don't know... Okay, I know why that took so long. I notice you're holding the pen again.
It's not shade. He's literally eclipsing me.
Please put the pen down.
It's down. Little pen weenie.
Please put the pen down. Okay. I also played a couple of video games. I first played through the full campaign of Station Renovation.
Grog's got you there.
Yes.
That Inquisitor Grox gifted me. Basically, if you've played a game like House Flipper or Viscera Cleanup Detail, it's basically that, but you renovate train stations. It's one of those kind of games where it's just this...
This is just a slippery slope until you start going to bingo because you think it's fun. Legs 11.
I'm quite British, but I'm not that British.
Yet.
I don't think... I know. I couldn't give a shit about
You and
bingo.
Dora and Matt are going to be rocking the bingo hall within, like, the decade. I bet you money.
I absolutely do not give a fuck about bingo.
Yet.
Like, I'll have a train set then, like, full on.
You'll have a train set and that you'll gamble money with and whistle every time the thing, like, the number 11 comes up.
I don't know what you think bingo is.
It's got trains and old people.
No,
Planes, trains, and bingo mobiles. Yep.
So, in Train Station Renovation, you... Don't think I didn't notice you going for your pen there.
This is not the pen episode!
It is now.
Fucking hate you.
Okay, I'm just going to make a note. I'm going to name the episode Snipe Puts the Pen Down.
No.
And I would ask that you do it in real life as well because you picked it up again.
Yeah, I did.
What you're doing with it now, you're definitely going to drop it.
I'm not going to drop it.
You are definitely going to drop it.
I am not going to drop the pen.
I'm
Please
sorry,
put it down.
everyone.
No, you're not.
Okay. Just at least please let me get through my section.
I'm having too much fun.
Because Matt cannot see you messing with it, so he can just get through his section fine.
Okay, but just so we're clear, this is your Christmas present.
Okay, fine.
Buy me another Squishmallow and I'll
No.
stop.
Okay, please. I'm losing every. I can't get onto a train of thought and stay on it like long enough.
Maybe you should renovate your stations.
Okay,
I'm
please.
the station.
I'm actually asking this earnestly. Please just let me get through this. Okay. Train station renovation. Yeah, it's like got that kind of methodical thing like those other games. So it becomes like oddly sort of just therapeutic to play because it's just, okay, so you've got to pick up all the rubbish around here, clean the graffiti off the walls, install new equipment, and you just kind of slowly go through that, repairing some of the trains a little bit, which I think is a bit beyond the purview of someone who's been hired to, like, recycle things, because you have, like, a recycling bin and a skip and stuff. And as you go through the levels, you are rewarded with bits for a train set in your office.
This feels like it was made just for you.
A little bit. Now, unfortunately, the train set thing is pretty shallow. You can swap your camera to be inside the train, which is pretty fun. But it's pretty basic. You can arrange the train set, like the train that you put on the train set, however you like, so you gain different cars and things that you can put on it. It's perhaps a little expensive for what it is, but it is a quite just engaging little thing to dick around with. If you're into those kind of games, it's the perfect game that you can just sit there whilst you're listening to a podcast just to have something to do with your hands, you know. That's not vigorously masturbating, but considering the type of podcast I listen to, that would be very bad taste.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, it's an interesting enough game. Get it on Steam. That sounds like something fun to you, then give it a shot. We also, on stream, played through the entirety of Sonic Adventure 2 for reasons that mortal man may never understand.
Yeah, the first half of that game is really good, and the rest of it is just like, hey, you know how all the controls and everything is jank? Fuck you, turn on a fucking dime.
Yeah, we have, like, a real nostalgia for this game, because, like, when we were first going out together, we played through the whole of the game.
And would just sit there and just give, like, because the Chow Garden is incredibly in-depth. More so than it really ever needed to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we just, like, feed Chow and chill out.
Make spreadsheets about, like, the
lineage.
The lineage and
like,
breeding patterns of all the Chow.
Breeding patterns and, like, what, like, how to breed to get S ranks. It's basically like Final Fantasy VII Chocobos, but you can go in and cuddle with them.
Yes.
So it's pretty good.
So yeah, we played through the whole of that on stream and beat it way easier than I thought we would. I was expecting like the final bosses to be an absolute nightmare.
Yep.
If you're interested in seeing that, regardless of when you listen to that, if you check out on YouTube, there is an unofficial Snipe and Wib live stream archive that is
run by a big titty goth girl.
Yes.
Which I'm not being rude. That's her name.
And yeah, they've been maintaining this.
Yeah,
this archive
they've
of
been
our
really
streams.
helping us out with that. So
if you're interested, it'll all be up there. But yeah, I despite the game being really janky, I still have a lot of fun with it because it's even like the levels that are kind of frustrating. I can't remember, there was one particular level where it had like a real harsh. It basically involved you having to do an underwater segment.
That was in the final kind of like stretch where you have to play as each character to do one kind of set piece, and it was the Knuckles section where you had to keep going underwater, and if you were like waylaid by anything, you would either drown, and like, or just get murdered horribly, because when you went for the air bubbles, it would make you drop like a stone, and like the floor was lava and it would kill you.
Yeah. It was one of the most frustrating bits of a video game I have played for a long time.
Yeah.
Because the time, like, it basically had zero space for mistakes.
And like the controls are so fucking terrible as well. So.
It takes a lot to get me actually a little bit, like, upset whilst playing a video game, and that managed it. But the rest of it, like, it occasionally would piss me off because, like, it was janky. But, like, I still enjoyed the game. I still think Sonic Adventure 2, the good bits of it, like the first level, City
City is like that's the best. That's the best part of the game, right there.
The Sonic and Shadow levels, for the most part, are still pretty fun.
I really don't like the other ones. I mean, Pumpkin Hill has an amazing like song. Drama Matt, you'll love Pumpkin Hill. theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
but,
Knuckles and Rouge levels.
They're a bit tedious, especially because like I think one of Rouge's is timed.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's so annoying.
Basically, the conceit of those levels is there are 3 hidden objects in the level, and you have to find them.
And it's like, they have like a random set, so they won't always be in the same place.
And it like has a beeping thing that tells you when you're close, and you have to look for clues.
It's full of really annoying high-pitched beeping as well, like this game, just in general.
We did find that out, that apparently the high-pitched beeping of like that and Tales and Robotics levels also have high-pitched whine in it.
Which either makes people feel sick, annoyed, or incredibly fucking anxious. Which is not great for when you're streaming to a bunch of people. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we still beat it, despite everyone's protests, so that's good.
Like, literally at the end, people were like, please just play a good game. We were like, nope! Playing this one.
I think sometimes, I know...
Sometimes you need to make people suffer with you.
No, like, I know, like, me... I have a very particular relationship with like bad video games where there's bad video games and there's bad video games. Like, there's stuff like I'm trying to think of like something like Colonial Marines that, though I did beat, is just kind of tediously bad. It's not like it doesn't break horrifically. It's mostly just kind of mediocre. And that's sort of the problem. Just nothing feels good, and so you're just like, eh. And then there's like Afterfall Insanity, where it's
everything is so cacophonously wrong.
It's just bad from top to bottom, and so it's actually totally worth playing because it's so fucking bizarre and bad. But you do have to have a tolerance to bad video games to do, and I have quite a high tolerance to them, and I enjoy playing them. So when I play a bad video game on stream, that's not me torturing myself.
That's you torturing other people.
I guess I am torturing other people, but mostly I just find it... I find them intriguing, and I think there is deep comedy to be mined from these games that are trying earnestly to do something and fail so spectacularly. These are like the Plan 9 from outer space of video games, and that can be really fun. And when you've got something like Sonic Adventure 2, a game that is both kind of that, because when it's bad, it's really janky and really badly written, and the voice acting stumbles over each other. They're constantly talking over each other because they didn't localize it properly.
Are we not localized properly?
We're not localized properly. That's why we talk over each other.
Yeah, explains a thing or two.
But yeah, the whole thing is it like that combined with like genuine nostalgia and a few bits of the game that are genuinely pretty great makes for an experience that I find genuinely quite engaging. And it's not like punishing ourselves to play. It's more like actually beating it is probably a little bit because some parts are really rough. But like once you've got like 95% of the way through the game, you might as well do the last 5% of absolute shit.
Yeah.
And to be fair, we did get through the final bosses without too much hassle, considering how much the video game doesn't want you to beat it at that point.
The latter part, there's like, the final boss has 2 stages, and the second stage is so badly done. It is so badly made, and it feels like it's literally just, elements are there to literally just make you rage.
Yeah.
That's it. It feels like they've done a, you rage, you lose kind of game. And it's really irritating. But I mean, we did it, so fuck everything.
And it's cool. And even if the game was bad, its soundtrack's pretty great. It's like pop punk with occasional horn sections,
and it's so cheesy and amazing.
As well as like the rap sections with for Knuckles. Like Pumpkin Hill is just great fun.
It's so cheesy, it's perfect.
For whatever the rap equivalent is of pop punk, Pumpkin Hill is it.
Rock punk.
Okay, on that note, I'm going to turn over to Matt.
Oh, hello.
So, Matt,
yes.
What have you been doing for the last few weeks?
I've been doing a few different things. I have a video game, I have a TV series, and I have a board game to talk about.
Oh!
Holy shit, yes.
I'm impressed.
So first up, video game. I started this one last time. It's The Escapists. I've got it on the Switch. It's available. I mean, I think it was a PC to start with, and now it's on an assortment of other things. And I think last time I said I just started it and I had no idea how any of it worked.
Yeah.
But
I remember you saying that you could see that you could really like it. But
yes. And yeah, spoilers, I did. Oh, I am. I guess I haven't finished it by any means because it gets flipping hard. But so if you didn't catch it last time, so the Escapists, you're playing as someone who's in prison and you're trying to escape, as the name suggests. And I just want to put a slight caveat out there on that prisons are a contentious subject, and most people who are in, at least some, if not most people who are in them probably shouldn't be, and they absolutely shouldn't be run for profit and shouldn't be trivialised, and etc, etc, etc. But I just wanted to put that out there as a second.
That's fair.
But in terms of the game, it's really good. So you go into it, and there's no tutorial as such. There's a very, very quick, minute-long thing where you just go from one room to the other and don't really do anything. And then it just throws you in at completely the deep end, and I think it doesn't help by the fact that the controls are weird on the Switch. I think if it was mouse and keyboard, it'd be a bit more obvious. But it sort of adds to it. But in a way, I was looking into it, I was like, why is it so weird? But it's intentionally weird, because it's sort of... The guy who made it didn't want it to be super obvious what you could do. There's so many different ways you can escape. It just doesn't... They didn't want to railroad you at all by giving you a tutorial and giving you ideas. So you kind of just have to play and see what things do. And if you get a new item, you just kind of eventually find out what you can use it for, and then inevitably get a slap on the wrist and told to stop doing that. And then it comes up, and then every time you sort of get caught doing something, it just gives you a little hint. Oh, you got caught chipping this wall. How about next time you make a fake wall or make a poster to cover up the wall? And then you get all the way through the wall, and it's next like, oh, the guards, found this gap in the wall. Next time, maybe put a fake wall block there instead. Or maybe next time try and do this at night where they might not be able to see you as easily. And it just, whenever you get caught, it just gives you a little hint. And that's the only way you just have to try things and see what works. And it's really good for that, because there's not many games where you have to completely guess what you're doing. So I really enjoyed sort of slowly working out what on earth to do, and then you just about manage to escape one of them by doing something, and then the next level, the next prison. So it takes, they're not quick levels. I think the base game only had 4 or 6 prisons to escape from, and this version's got a bunch of extra ones. But it's not like, you break out in half an hour, I spent days in a prison trying to sort of slowly learn guard movement or learn where to go and where I get caught and things. I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, so when you escape from one prison, you go into the next one, you go, oh, okay, well, in the first prison, I think I just slowly accumulated plastic knives and plastic forks from the canteen and used them to very slowly chip away at a wall behind a poster. And then get out there and then go through another wall and then use the knives to slowly chip away at the fencing. But the next time there isn't an outer fence, there's a chip-proof wall or something. And you're like, oh, well, this wall is too hard for the plastic forks to chip it away, so you have to think of a completely different strategy. And you're like, okay, well, I'm back to square one, completely trying to work things out. So it's a little bit frustrating in that sense, but yeah, it's really refreshing in that it's not, because there's quite a few games, when Souls first came out, it was hard, and people either loved it or didn't get into it, but it was I'm not saying it was the first hard game by any means, but
it was the only hard game ever. Who knew?
Yeah, I'm obviously not saying that, but for a while, there wasn't many games coming out that were intentionally that hard, and that wasn't the point of them. And then it did, and there's a few things doing that. But this is hard, but in a different way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been quite enjoying it. It's been quite different. So I've escaped the first 2 prisons, and I was in the third, and I can just not work out how on earth there's not just one way in each prison. There's obviously many different ways, but I have no idea how I'm going to... Nothing that I've done so far will work in this one, and I'm just completely stumped on it.
I'll give you a hint.
Yes.
When your buddy with the stealth suit comes around with ketchup and a ration, wait till the guard has to go and have diarrhea somewhere. Lie on the floor and pour ketchup all over the place. Wait till he comes in and kill him.
Yeah, tried that. Well, sort of.
Okay.
Minus the ketchup, but...
Okay. Did you hide under the bed and wait till he comes in and when he's going off and having a diarrhea somewhere? And then when he comes back, he's like, "Ah, shit, he's gone."
I think as a general point, it's probably wise not to rely on guards having diarrhea as being a fundamental linchpin of your prison escape plan.
So video games have taught me that anyone who is ever put in charge of you at the cell is either currently having a diarrhea or is very prone to having a diarrhea.
Okay, I'm not sure that's the case in this one.
I mean, how many times have you been imprisoned? Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'm actually trying to think of like different video games where you end up in prison at one point. I'm thinking like Silent Hill, Downpour, Final Fantasy VIII. I'm thinking of games, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think there's any point at which it explicitly says that whoever's running the prison isn't having diarrhea.
Yeah.
So I don't actually have any proof that your theory isn't true.
Because I mean, that's kind of like my my no prize, my headcanon for like this. It's like, oh look, in Silent Hill 2, Maria's stuck in the prison, and then she gets out somehow. How'd she do that? Diarrhea. Well, the guard had diarrhea, obviously. Yeah, like Pyramid Head had diarrhea and had to go somewhere. He's like, oh, fucking hell, why don't bring me heaviest Gurn sword so I have to stop from shitting all over the place. I have just trivialized such a dark and fucking gruesome game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I am horrible. But my point still stands. It's all diarrhea all the way down.
I will try that next time.
Yeah.
I don't know where the diarrhea button is, but I'm sure.
Well, usually it's, I don't know, you know what? Every game is different, and I don't want to, like, just, blanket statement, so...
Weirdly linking on to controls,
weirdly, like, tangentially related to diarrhea.
Yeah, I think the Switch version is extra hard, because, like, it's not at all into, like, there's a button for, like, picking up and using items, and it's just not... All of the buttons don't quite do what you expect them to do a lot of the time. Like, for one time, I was digging... The second prison I was escaping by digging... I found somewhere where I could get away with digging a tunnel. So I was just digging this tunnel. You have to work out... You can only get a certain distance. And it's like, okay, well, you now need support structures before you go any further. And I was like, okay, cool. How on earth do you make those? And you have to sort of play. And I was making quite good progress. And I thought, another few nights I might be out of here. And then I was leaving my tunnel. And I tried to press the spade button. And I actually pressed the wrong one. I pressed the button for ending the tunnel and just digging straight up. And then I just dug up basically straight under a guard. And was like, oh... and I've spent hours of real IRL time slowly digging this tunnel and running out of durability on whatever makeshift spade I had and had to build another one and things.
Does the game have save states in it, or
it feels like it's heavily roguelike?
No, it doesn't really save. Like, if you get caught, you just get put in solitary for a few days, and then you get out, and all of your contraband that was in your desk or whatever's been confiscated, and any holes you've made or holes in walls or tunnels or anything get filled up, and you're basically back to square one. But you know how to do it, and actually the thing that takes longest is sort of working out how to do it. So it doesn't take you too long to catch up. And I was really annoyed by this because I was so close to getting out, but it actually turned out when I tried the same thing again to go out, I dug a few, because it's all done in, 2D Minecraft type, blocks sort of thing. If that makes no sense.
I get you.
Because it's a pixely game. You've got it's not you don't just slowly dig. You dig a unit of tunnel and then another unit of tunnel, and you have to dispose of one unit of dirt for every unit of tunnel you dig.
Yeah, it's like 1 meter square.
Yeah,
of dirt,
exactly. That was what I was trying to go for with the Minecraft thing, which does possibly confuse things more. But yeah, it's that sort of thing. And I dug a few units of that, and then they'd only backfilled the tunnel that far. So I was like, okay, a lot of my work is still there. So that was quite a nice thing to know, because I got quite annoyed when I was caught digging my tunnel because I pressed the wrong button. It's like, uh-oh.
See, that reminds me of I was playing the Long Dark on a harder difficulty, and I'd survived maybe 100 days, which is really difficult. Let me fucking tell you, it's hard. And I was in Mystery Lake on my way back from a cabin, and I didn't have much on me because I took a lot of stuff over because I was gonna because the key to staying alive in the Long Dark is moving around. And so I was moving back to this cabin, and I get jumped by a wolf. And usually the thing is, I had just cleaned out my rifle, and this is the first time I'd really ever committed to using a 303 rifle, because you can get revolvers and rifles, and that's it for firearms. So I was like, okay, so I cleaned it because it was in a bad way, and I was like, well, I'm going to use real world knowledge, so I unloaded it, I took all the bullets out of it, then I cleaned it. I'm nearly inside, but my character's exhausted, so I can't run. A wolf runs up to me. I pull out my gun, and then I go to fire, and I realise I haven't reloaded it. when I was cleaning it.
No.
This wolf tears the fuck out of me. I stand up, I walk 3 paces, and I bleed to death. Gone. That save deleted, because that's what it does. You don't respawn, that's it. All those hours, gone. Yeah. I literally had a bit... you know when you kind of sit
Just
there and you're like...
a little bit of a cry.
Oh no, I was too mad to cry, dude. I just kind of sat there like with my teeth gritted, like...
Yeah, that's what I was like when my tunnel was found, because I pressed the wrong button. I was like...
Yeah. You're just like, a stupid fucking mistake, and all my work is gone. Yeah. Fuck this.
I think that's why a lot of those style of games, I've never been able to get hard into them.
Ooh. Well, maybe you're playing it for a different reason.
Because
like, David Hayter, open those beans.
Because I can do like you kind of classic kind of say classic, but like your roguelike kind of games, like your Binding of Isaacs and things like that.
You absolutely fucking rock at Binding of Isaac, but like I find that kind of like just a bit much.
But I think it's because the amount of like a full run of the Binding of Isaac, like you're probably I think like to do like from start to finish if you've got everything unlocked, I think you can probably do it in like an hour or something like that. And so that's like the most you'll ever lose, and even then, because of the nature of the game, unless you're like have played it as much as like I have and you've unlocked most things in the game, you're gonna have done some advancement towards something during that run, so it's your time's never really wasted.
Well, I mean, in the long dock you do get what's referred to as badges, which is like, walk 1,000 kilometers, which I got the other day, by the way, which gives you like a perk, because like on certain difficulty settings you get certain perk slots.
Yeah.
So on the easiest one you can get you can get like 5, and then you can have like you start all fire, like all your characters start like fire building skill of 3, which means that they don't need tinder, which is a fucking godsend.
Yeah, but my point is that
so I'm saying that it wasn't entirely wasted.
But because those things are geared around like survival and the like, and you build up a thing and then you can just lose it so easily.
Yeah.
Like I think that's why I've never been able to get into them, because that just that has just always kind of irked me a little bit. But anyway, The Escapists.
Yes, sorry.
But yeah, it's a good game. I'm kind of having a bit of a break from it at the moment, because I spent many hours in this third or fourth, I can't remember, but prison, and just can't work out how to get out of it.
Dude.
I'll come back. It's the fourth one, actually. I've escaped from 3. I escaped from 1 because I was trying to... My new tactic was I worked out how to make... if you beat up a guard, you can steal their key. But then as soon as they wake up, they report you, and when they report you, it's like it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. It sort of just comes up with a message saying the guard reported this is missing and it's traced back to you. Go to solitary for 3 days, sort of thing. So it's a little bit like you can't just hide
like
on
an
it.
Instant fail
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah. But one of the hints there was like, maybe make a copy of the key. So I was like, okay. So I worked out how to make, like just by experimenting, worked out how to make putty. And then melt, and then you can make a mould with the key and then put the key back on the guard, so when they wake up, they're annoyed at you for beating him up, but they don't report you for stealing the key.
Nice.
So I was doing that, but I was just trying to find the right coloured key, because there's various different keys for different doors. And then I accidentally beat up like 4 or 5 guards within quite a short time and started a riot. So then a riot happened and all the doors got thrown open, so I could just walk out the front door and leave. I was like, well, that's not what I was aiming for, but okay, right, fine.
It's so easy.
So that was quite good. But yeah, so this is the 4th one, but I'm just completely stumped on it now. So I was like, it's been really good so far, the fact that it's not at all handholdy and it's not at all intuitive. But this one, I'm just like, I have no idea how even to approach it. So I'm just having a bit of a break and come back to it in a week or 2.
Have you considered arson?
I mean, I'm not sure how that would help.
Well, I mean, it might make you feel better.
Yeah, okay.
Are we talking about in real life or in the video game?
Well, no, if you set yourself on fire and just run for the front door, what are they going to fucking do? No one wants to get burninated on their hands. It'll hurt a lot, so...
Yeah, so they just
Remind me never to
it.
organise a prison break with you.
Oh no, you're just the one that goes, you're gonna be really good. You're gonna go up and you're gonna punch the security guard. And I'm like, yeah, I am, and I'll just do that. I'll be the one remaining in the prison because it's like, hey, Snipe started a riot, and I'm like, I've been waiting for this. Can I wear my
you've been here 5 minutes. How long have you been waiting for this? You're like,
10 minutes. It was a nice cold evening in 1993.
That was when I first desired to start a prison riot.
Oh, honestly, like legit, probably, yeah. But not against fellow inmates, against the, against the screws.
Yeah.
Start 'em young.
But yeah, it's a good game, and I might come back to it after I've had a bit of a pause, I think. Next up, we've been watching a TV series. So we've been watching Spaced.
Oh, that's on Netflix now.
Yes, it is now on Netflix. And it's been one of those ones where we've both seen some of the episodes, but never like in any order or like watched it as a conscious thing. We're going to watch this, and we're like, oh, it's on Netflix now. Okay, we're going to have to. So for those who don't know, Spaced is Simon Pegg and Nick Frost is in it, but he's not. He's a very side character, actually.
Isn't Peter Serafinowicz in that as well?
Yes, he is. Yes. Yeah, he's even more. He's just in one or two episodes.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, but he turned up as like, oh, bonbons. So he was like, what? I was like, it's that guy. And he's like, okay. One of his other characters, Brian Butterworth's Diet. Is it Butterworth? Brian...
Are you having a stroke?
It's from the Peter Serafinowicz show, which I tried to watch. I tried to watch like a few months ago and was like, wow, like 3 different sketches. The punchline is transphobic. Oh
yeah.
How old was? I'm guessing it was like. I'm hoping it was old.
It's from like early 2000s.
Okay.
Well, this is from a similar era, so we were a bit skeptical. So for those, it's Simon Pegg and directed by Edgar Wright. So and it has Nick Frost in it. So it's the same team that went on to make Shaun of the Dead and
the
Hot Fuzz
Cornetto trilogy.
Yes, the Cornetto trilogy. And then obviously they've all gone off to do other things. And Simon Pegg's actually a weirdly successful Hollywood actor for some reason.
Really freaks me out.
Not that he doesn't deserve to be. It's just weird that he is.
Not. He does, and like he wrote like a really good Star Trek movie. So
he did. Yeah. Star Trek Beyond.
Because you can tell he actually really likes it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like I will say like because Hot Fuzz is on Netflix, and every time I see it, he looks really underweight and unwell in that movie. And it makes me feel bad.
Really?
Oh. Yeah, he just looks really gaunt.
I never noticed.
I think he's maybe just one of those people who are supposed to have a bit more weight on them. But I mean, I'm not going to, I'm just going to say, it's like, maybe it's just the angles or the lighting in the preview images.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spaced is, we were a bit sceptical because, it's like, I don't actually know when it was made, but early 2000s. It looks very 90s-y, so it could even be late 90s.
I think it is because I remember there was a part where Simon Pegg's character is staying up like real late playing Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation, and he's like, and the controller doesn't have DualShock, so that shows you that it's probably 98.
Yeah, I think around 98 is when the DualShock controllers came in. So
yeah, it's like 97, 98.
Oh, yeah, okay. Space 99 to 2001. So yeah, good.
Yeah. I was close. So
we were a bit skeptical because some of the punchlines from that era were. Lol, look at this minority group or whatever.
Minority groups. Yeah, exactly.
But it holds up alright. There's a couple of bits where that's not great, and that wouldn't be done like that now at all. But there's not too many of that at all, and the rest of it, it holds up really well. And some of the humour, it's just a good level of. Quite often it does things where it pushes things to be a bit annoying, but then it pushes them just the right amount where it loops back round to being funny again sometimes.
Yeah, I remember at the time it being, a lot of people really liking it, and just for whatever reason I didn't watch it at the time, and I've always meant to go back and check it out.
I watched bits of it, but I was always watching Eurotrash or something instead, I was like, I'd rather watch softcore pornography than this.
One day, I feel I should go back and consume some Eurotrash because that was a show.
You remember badly dubbed porn?
I do remember
that was
badly
pretty
dubbed
funny.
Porn.
Yeah, for anyone who's wondering what badly dubbed porn is, it was badly dubbed porn.
Yeah, it was like they'd cut out all of the actual explicit bits, so you don't. It was it was on Channel 4 or something late at night.
Of course, it was on Channel fucking 4.
And it's not on Channel 5. It feels more like a Channel 5 thing.
I have a feeling it was Channel 4, but it might have been Channel 4.
That doesn't matter.
But no, and I remember there was one because I used to get these sex magazines that in the back of it had adverts for porn movies and stuff, and there was one just called Cleopatra, and it had a woman on the front who was she was kind of lying on her stomach and her ass was in the air so aggressively it looked like she was wearing an ass-shaped hat, and she was dressed as Cleopatra, and badly dubbed porn literally had they did one on that movie, and it was so fucking funny, especially because
they were the original fan dubs.
Yeah. Fuck your DBZ abridged. This is the real shit.
Cleopatra abridged.
Cleopatra abridged. And she's with some dude, and for some reason they've got one of them it's got like a fucking Liverpudlian accent. Like they're dubbed to have like really weird English regional accents. And she's like lying there on the bed going like, oh, can you tell me about like the pyramids in it? And he goes, and this guy's going down on her. He's like, well, you see, in the it's like, okay, that's the funniest shit I ever did see. I'm very easy to entertain. But yeah. Anyway. Space.
Yeah, Space is good. We've just gone to the second series, and I'm really I'm glad that we've caught up on it.
I've been meaning to
and
do it
it's quite
myself,
a fun like, because it was there's only 2 series, and it's very much of a time. It's quite a fun little window back into late 90s, early 2000s. Like there's one where they just go out like raving or something. It's just like,
oh fuck,
okay,
raving.
This is very 90s. It's quite amazing.
Oh, fucking ravers, man.
And also Daisy, who's the main. So the conceit is that there's 2 people who are currently house hunting, and they end up meeting in a cafe looking through all the because you had to look through like newspaper adverts to try and find a place to rent, because this is all like pre-common use of the internet.
Yeah. Well, you would use it like maybe if you were an incredibly enthusiastic computer user, you might have a home computer with it.
Yeah, but
most people didn't, and like it was not. Like maybe you'd use one at work.
It wasn't as integrated into our daily life as it is.
Exactly.
So they're in a cafe, and an advert comes up for a place, and it's like, oh, professional couples only. So they're like pretending to be a couple to move in. But then that's sort of, it's not dropped, but it's not a big part of it after that, because it's just like, oh, this is going to be one of those things where it's just going to be really annoying. But like, no, that's just a sort of the conceit that gets them in together, and then they move on from it basically. Daisy, the main, so it's the 2. It's Simon Pegg plays a character called, what's his name? Tim, yeah. And then Daisy's played by Jessica Stevenson, I want to say. I'm bad at actors' names, apparently. Apart from Simon Pegg, who is just everywhere. Yeah. Anyway, Daisy is just kind of Ruth, but 90s. So, which is quite hilarious on a personal point of view. But yeah, it's good. If you haven't seen it, you go back, and it's worth checking out, with a slight caveat of it being 20 years ago, so there's a couple of bits that
1998 was like 5-6 years ago, actually.
You refuse to accept anything else.
If you watch it was like, Daisy's a writer, and she writes on a typewriter.
Jesus,
like she lugs out, and not in like a weird, in like a a hipster way or whatever. It's like she lugs out this old typewriter and starts like, at one point she was like, she's working in the kitchen or whatever, and she like wants to go to a bedroom to write, so she lugs this typewriter onto a like bed and sits writing, and it's like, oh, these people don't just have a laptop or like have a tablet or a phone or something. Like, it's so weird.
I often I think back to like, oh yeah, there was just a time when I didn't have access to the sum of all human knowledge in my pocket that I could access at all times.
And I could catch Pokemon with.
Yeah, even when you had the internet in your house, you still had to wait till no one had to have any phone calls for the night.
You needed
and then
to
you
wait
could only
until
be on
like
for an hour.
6 p.m.
Yes,
and then,
yep. That was essential.
Like, no one was allowed to use the phone. Yeah. And like because I mean, in our house we were literally, that's just what we would do. We would just boot on and like we'd never got any calls after 6 because it was literally just 6 p.m. has arrived. Fuck interacting with anyone I live with. Time to play Doom online with somebody. So yeah,
Or go visit like a fucking Pokemon fan site.
Oh, this is before Pokemon, dear.
Jesus.
Yeah. I remember like fucking old school forums.
Well, yeah, I mean, you first used the internet back when it was like fucking Usenet bullshit.
Yeah. God, they were awful. Oh, Christ.
Anywho, Space is good. Go watch it. It's on Netflix. It's very easy watching, and you'll blast through it pretty quickly. Last thing I want to talk about is we played a board game.
Oh, what game?
Yes, we played a game called Magic Maze.
Oh, is it about a maze?
No.
Oh.
No, it's I played this a while ago with a couple of friends. I've been meaning to get it, and it's a game. It's a weird game. It's like, it looks like it's a kids game from like 10 years ago or something from the box, but that means it's like 16 quid new as opposed to most modern board games, which are 40 quid plus.
Yeah.
So the conceit of it, they definitely just like got some themes out of a bucket and then just dropped them on a page and was like, yeah, we'll just write that. So there's 4 characters. There's a and it really doesn't actually matter, but there's a wizard, an elf, a dwarf, and a barbarian. obviously, because, dwarf is a class. That's fine.
Yep.
And you're an adventuring party, but you've lost all of your equipment, or you've had it stolen, or for whatever reason you don't have your equipment, so you have to go and break into the local shopping mall, which is called Magic Maze, to steal your equipment back and then escape in a heist.
Okay.
it's just like, hang on. So you're like D&D characters or like fantasy characters, but you're going to just a shopping mall with like escalators and shit. And the whole point
Roll
is
a
that
skill
you're working
check
together
for felony.
to heist your equipment that you need to then go on your adventure. Yeah, I don't know where they got the theme from, and the fact that it's called Magic Maze just happens to be the name of the shopping centre, so it could have been called literally anything. And then you're like, oh no, why is it called that? Oh, it's the shopping centre's called Barry, so the game's called Barry.
The shopping centre is called Barry.
I couldn't think of a word that wasn't a name. So.
Yeah, like, evidently, but sure.
Yeah, that does sound like just a bunch of different games that they were trying to make all of them at the same time.
But, not even ignoring that, it's like, it's fine, whatever, the actual mechanics of the game and the gameplay, it's really good. And it's really different to a lot of games. So, you start off and you've just got it's sort of Betrayal at House on the Hill style. You start off with one tile and then you slowly sort of explore the shopping centre.
Yeah.
And when you go through to a bit, you go through a door, you turn the next tile over and line it up. But there's the 4 characters that start off in the middle, and the point is you explore the shopping centre until you've found each person has a colour coded item they need to get to, and then once all 4 people are at the item's location, you all simultaneously like steal, in inverted commas, like you just say the robbery's happened and you all need to escape. And you're playing, it's cooperative, you're all working together, but it's anywhere between 1 and 8 players. Everyone is playing as every character. So it's not just like one player is playing as the barbarian, one player is playing as the wizard. Everyone can do anything, controls all of the people, but you have an action card in front of you and you can only do one action. So one player there's a compass on the map thing. One player can only move people north. One player can only move people east. One player can only use the escalators.
Oh god.
Okay.
And you can't talk.
What?
So you have to watch out for trying to guess what other people are aiming to do. So someone can move someone towards the north, and then you can notice, oh wait, I need to move them east because that's what I can do, and then someone else needs to move them south to get towards over there. And then you're all playing against an egg timer, like sand timer thing. And there's various points on the board where if you get to, you can flip the timer over to give yourself more time. And when you do that, you can then talk and work out your plan. But as soon as someone moves something, you're back to silence. And then there's like a big token, like a big wooden token thing that you can like move. And the only way of communication, you're allowed to intently stare at someone.
I do that anyway. That's just how I communicate.
You're allowed to really passively aggressively put this like wooden token in front of someone to like let them know that you're expecting them to do something, but you can't give any hints as to what that's supposed to be.
Okay,
and of the time, the time's running out, and it's getting more and more edgy.
I'm just gonna say,
it's such a cool game.
This whole thing sounds like it's a fucking number wang skit, and you're just making this up. This game doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, I might not have explained it the best. It's quite a weird one because it's so different to most game mechanics. It's quite a weird one to explain.
Yeah,
but
sounds interesting though.
It is a very cool game, and it's really well made as well. So that you start off and there's not that much to it. Like there's no, because each of the 4 characters do end up having like a special ability themselves that you can do, which sort of adds a bit of complexity to it. And there's a few other bits like. Every now and then you have to pass around what actions you do. So you've just got used to what one action you can do, and you're sort of looking out for whenever someone can move north, say, and then that will get swapped around. So you've got a different thing to get used to. And there's all that, but it sort of does a really good. Like the starting scenario is quite basic, and it sort of adds the complexity as it goes through. And each game only lasts about 10 or 15 minutes, so you can sort of you play the first one not knowing how it works at all, and go, okay, I think we get this. Let's try the next scenario with a bit more complexity. And then very quickly you've sort of built it all up and you're just playing the full version of the game. Yeah, it's a very good game. I'll get it up and we'll play with you guys at some point whenever that's feasible.
Will you bring the game as well? You see what I did there?
Yeah,
I made a peanut joke.
Very good. Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's a really good game and it's cooperative, and Yeah, bizarre. You can't talk apart from at set moments when you're allowed to talk, but you are
sounds like
encouraged to
I'm,
stare
like-
at people.
That just sounds like me recording the podcast.
It's a very good board game, and like I said, it's like 16 quid or something. So it's like, oh, that's actually quite reasonable for like a modern day board game.
Yeah, that sounds very surreal.
But yeah, no, I recommend if you're looking for a board game that doesn't sort of fit into a lot of the... Well, story-wise, it fits into all of the tropes from all of the genres because it has all of the story. But gameplay-wise, it's quite, it's its own very own thing and doesn't... Yeah, it's good. Very good. Highly recommend.
All games as it is no game.
Exactly. So yeah, that's me done.
Okay, well, I guess that brings us to the questions for today. So, Snipe,
I hate you.
what is the email address that people need to send questions to?
thedrummermat@gmail.com.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And what questions have been sent in?
So, we have a few questions.
Cool.
First up, Max.
Hello, Max.
I'm curious, this is a good question actually, I'm curious whether podcasting together has changed your daily interactions outside of podcasting in any way. So, do we ever find ourselves going, oh, that's cool, I'll go and tell Snipe and Wib, well, no, wait, I'll save it for the podcast. We'll talk about it on the podcast.
100% you do that, yeah.
Totally, all the time.
Yeah, and also, if we didn't do the podcast, we probably wouldn't talk anywhere near as often as we do.
Yeah, at the moment, I only to speak to you guys every, 2 weeks when we podcast.
Yeah.
Not being allowed to meet up properly in real life.
No.
It's super great.
Well, I mean, whatever.
But yeah, no, the amount of times where we have a thing where it's like, oh, I've learned this fun thing, but I need to save it for the podcast because I want to talk about it on there, and then I want to get a genuine reaction to it.
Yeah.
It's like,
that is a bit of a pain. But...
That literally happened the other day. I was talking to Longfang before we did a Men with Funny Heads episode, and I was talking about a thing that happens in a Doctor Who thing, and because we're doing an episode on Doctor Who, I was like, I'll tell you this bit, but I'm not going to tell you the rest because I want you to genuinely react when we get to it in the podcast. And that does just happen, because, it's
You don't really notice it after a while, but then you notice it when somebody brings it up, and you, have a goddamn fucking existential crisis, and it makes you question your whole goddamn life. Just putting it out there.
It's great when you are a content creator and you are effectively forever searching for ways to monetize every facet of your life because it's the only way to survive in late-stage capitalism. It's great.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the question, Max.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
No, that was a good question. We're being silly.
Okay, next up, Aben.
Hello.
They only have one name. It's not 3 names. It's just I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
A suggestion for some music. So this is Grot Revolution battle music suggestion.
Okay.
So there is a band called Dreadnoughts, which is named after the ship, not the Stompies.
Yes.
And I don't care.
They play punky covers of traditional songs and sea shanties, which is very hard to say. But yeah, they think it would be perfect music for the Grot Rebellion.
You know what I think would be perfect?
I have heard of them before. I think I have listened to a couple of songs.
We've got this notion that we quite like to sell the ocean.
The weird sailors from the first black and white game are, in fact, not what I think of when I think of Grot Rebellion.
Bread is quite boring if that's all you eat. So do us a favour.
Okay, what's the next question?
With the little flavour.
So not a drummer, Matt.
Oh shit! Okay.
Thought
That's
Wib will be cured.
That's like lots of people.
Yeah, it is. I was going to say all of the Matts, as if I'm the only one that possibly could drum.
No
I say
other
could
Matt.
drum in very big inverted commas, by the way, as well.
No other Matt is allowed to drum. That's
exactly.
the
That's the rule.
No, actually, no. I'm drummer Matt. This is not a drummer Matt. All of the Matts have to be neither of those things.
True.
They can't be. So I don't know how they're going to cope.
Okay. Anyway.
Thought Wib would be curious about the 50,000 Orcs project. So it's a project going on in, they think, Germany, where mini painters are working on a project together to create a massive Lord of the Rings diorama with, as you might have guessed, 50,000 Orcs.
I think you mean Uruk.
No, this is Lord of the Rings. So these are Orcs, I think. Oh, no,
the Uruk-hai are
Orcs
a different
yeah,
thing.
they're like...
Yeah, but Lord of the Rings is fucking terrible and I don't care. Fucking fight me, see what
But
happens.
the question related to that is, do you now feel an urge to do 50,001 grots?
Don't do
Because
this.
to be honest, you're on track for it, seemingly.
He's got like, oh my god.
I have
don't.
painted 70. I don't actually know if I'm gonna. I was originally gonna get 90, but I don't know if I'm actually gonna do that anymore because with the points changes, I've got about 300 odd points left to get it to a 2,000
Take
point
one
army.
of them and throw them away so you have the nicest army in the world.
Um,
Because it's the sexiest. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't actually know.
Took me a while.
It sounds like you were like choking on an egg.
But yeah, I don't know if I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of the army since the points have changed. I need to play with them a bit because now I've got less room to play with. So I sort of want to have a few games with them before I expand them, so I know what weaknesses it's got, so I know what I need to.
I mean, it's grass, all of them, presumably.
Yeah, but what I lack in any capacity of strength, I make up for in numbers.
Meat shields, all the way down.
So yeah, I need to try that. But I presume these are being made from the Games Workshop, like orc models.
Presumably, I did not look any further into it.
In which case, I don't have to feel any competitiveness with them because I have long maintained that no human has ever played the Lord of the Rings game. Yeah. Because people do collect it, don't get me wrong, but no two of those people have ever met, and anyone you see who says they've done so is lying.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't feel any need to compete with these people who don't really exist.
Yeah, they're all fake.
Yeah. Anyone who says otherwise is paid by Big Tolkien.
Yeah.
Big Tolkien sounds like a big Tolkien. Yeah, got him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Good.
next up, Rob.
Right,
Have
Rob.
we heard of, and more likely, do we have any thoughts on Star Trek Lower Deck?
I've not had a chance to watch it yet.
No, I mean, I like the idea, and I can't really tell from trailers because I remember when BoJack Horseman was being advertised, and they just tried to, like, in the trailers they were cutting it so it would look like Family Guy, and I'm like, I am so fucking done with Family Guy.
Yeah, I think we might have had this exact conversation like last time.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I hope it's good because that's fun to kind of explore a different aspect of it. So.
I've seen I've seen like a scene from it, which admittedly I didn't think was very funny, but seeing a scene from a comedy show outside of the rest of the comedy show in the context of the characters and learning who they are and stuff, it doesn't necessarily work. You know, you often will see it and go, that wasn't funny, but in the context of the show, it might be more so. So it's hard to tell. I mean, to be honest, when I looked at the trailer, it was like, well, this just looks like a worse version of Final Space, but, you know, yeah, I hope it's good. The moment I get a chance to watch it, because if I basically with the collapse of
Western society,
civilization,
or just civilization in general,
with the pandemic and all, the licensing to the lower decks to countries that aren't the USA and Canada has basically been thrown into turmoil. So the official statement as to when it's going to come out is officially a shrug emoji. So one of them was put up so people in the UK could watch it, but the YouTube video, when I went to watch it, had already been taken down. And this was an official one, so I don't know.
Copyright strikes themselves.
Maybe! I don't know. So yeah, I need to... I really want to see it, because I like Star Trek, and I want to see how it turns out. And I'll especially like an animated show, like comedy shows, I think a good comedy show tends to have bad trailers, because
you can't really summarize.
You can't really translate how a show conveys comedy over the full length of it into like a condensed thing. It rarely comes across well. I personally find anyway. So yeah, I am hopeful for it, and I do really want to see it. Even if I think the design of the ship looks like Toss, I hate it. It's so weird looking. I don't like it. It should have been a Miranda class. I don't care.
Oh my god. You and fucking Miranda classes.
No, it's because it's like supposed to be like a shit ship that's kind of being held together by not much, so that a Miranda would actually fit, because they're like the old-fashioned workhorses of the Federation. Or a replacement one because it's set a bit later in the timeline. Like, I don't know, maybe something like a...
when is it set?
It's set after... I think canonically it's set before Picard, but after Nemesis.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, I may be wrong there. It might be set after Picard, but it's definitely set after Nemesis.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Rob, a different Rob.
Hello, different Rob.
That's not their name. They're just not the same Rob as the previous Rob. Unless it was the same Rob emailing in from 2 different email addresses, I guess, but probably not. Anywho, a few recommendations. So, off the back of the chat we were having about Magnus tapes.
Magnus Archives.
Yes. A vaguely related, or at least similar, I guess. Charles Strasser's Laundry Files.
I mean, that's a name.
Is that about people who want to put their dicks in like bowls of comfort?
No, it's about it. Wait, it
Laundry Files.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah. I'm funny on the internet for money. Can you tell?
As long as you explain the joke.
Yeah. It's way funnier
I mean, it got
now.
better. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it posits a UK Secret Service department which deals with Lovecraftian horrors, but actually it's kind of more about like office politics and pivot tables and things.
Okay, that sounds pretty good actually. I'll check that out. Thank you, another Rob.
That does sound very much up your alley.
Yeah.
And then there's just a quick one. There's some ghost stories by an author called M.R. James.
Mr. James, okay.
Mr. James, yeah.
So Ash wrote some horror stories.
Yeah. An Edwardian Cambridge Don, and he sort of, if you read them like on the level, I mean, I'm summarising here because I read this email about a week ago and I've forgotten what it says, and I apparently summarised it really badly in my notes. But like, it's quite. I can't remember what he said about it. It's not just on the. It's just not just on the level. He's like a bit, clever about it. I can't remember.
Okay.
But recommended some ghost stories.
Cool. Thank you.
Third recommendation was after us being disappointed, or at least me being disappointed by Bardcore last time. They recommended a German folk metal band called In Extremo, which is closer to what I was originally expecting Bardcore to be.
Cool.
It's more sort of folk metal rather than folk hardcore punk, but it's the right sort of direction.
Yeah,
nice distorted guitars with bagpipes and various other similar instruments.
That sounds fun. I have been a long-standing person, person sitting there going like, bagpipes should be in more music because as someone who's a fan of like the Dropkick Murphys and the Real Mackenzies, I'm a big fan. And the fact that outside of them, I think the only 2 things I can think of is that one Biffy Clyro song.
Yes,
which is
Stinging
great.
Bell, which is excellent, but much better than the most recent album anyway. Ooh,
you don't like that? That's fair.
It's fine, but it's just not.
I mean, that's the thing. It's fine.
I've not listened to all of it yet, so I can't form the full opinion. Well, I heard the start of it was all right. It wasn't as good as their best, but it was fine. No. And of course, AC/DC's "It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll," which it also has bagpipes in it. More bagpipes in more genres is my point.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced bug peeps.
It is not.
In that case, I can recommend I can't remember. It's the band that Dicko's now in, sort of the Housebound Scar Collective. One of the covers they did, they've got one of the members of this. So COVID band, everyone records at home and it all gets edited together. They have a sousaphone player who, in one of the songs, wanders off screen, comes back in full Scottish kilt and everything, and then does a bagpipe solo.
Frick yeah!
Excellent.
I can't remember which cover I can't remember which one it is, so you'll have to go and watch all of them. But yeah, it's amazing. It's worth it just for that, even if you're not into like that sort of thing.
Okay.
Very last question.
Oh no! Ever?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's not even the last question that's sent up until now, because I read these questions about a week ago when we were originally going to record. So it's probably not even the last question up that exists right now, let alone next time.
Yay.
Okay. Captain Hydranial. Hydranial. Wow, okay. I should not have struggled with that so much as I did. The captain. Considering how most of your chapters are captains, hence why they are a captain, presumably.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to use them in the new edition of the Codex Astartes, as you can only take one captain?
No.
Good answer. Yep.
Yeah, we're just going to fucking take them. Because we're not particularly Codex compliant as a chapter, so fuck everything.
And perhaps more importantly, down with unjust hierarchies.
Yeah.
So
the Emperor can just fight me and see what fucking happens.
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Yeah, 1, he hits me. 2, I hit him back. He hits the pavement. 3, I fuck his mum.
Good.
I was just going to suggest us taking 1 step back so we couldn't reach you, but...
You know what? I could do that too. Yeah. I'll do that after I fuck his mum.
The 40k equivalent of, like, holding his head away with your palm of your hand.
He's just...
Apart from you don't even need to do that.
He's not, like, the most powerful psyker in existence.
Nah, it's all a con.
You just take a step back. He can't... And plus, like, he can't, like, do anything to you if you're, like, not within 6 feet. If you're not within, like, melee range, he can't do anything.
Exactly.
Because his butt is, like, sewn to a big chair.
Yeah. But yeah, that is the questions.
Okay. Thank you for all the lovely questions. Be sure to send in questions about who I would fight to the death and win, which is everyone.
I will say I really appreciate that you didn't mess with your pen too much for the whole final part of that. Would you like to drop the pen on the ground now?
No.
Just to get it out of your system.
Well, there's like a mic drop thing at the end.
Yeah.
It's like a pen drop.
Yeah,
I feel like we should say goodbye first, and then then the pen drop can be the sort of the climax, so to speak.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Do you feel on the spot now?
I do, yeah. Yeah, I fucking do.
It's a performance anxiety. You know, out of nowhere, you're used to doing it, but like, you know...
I mean, I'm not used to doing it. I don't do it on purpose, you prick.
Are you worried that if you do it on purpose, it's not going to quite have the right resonance?
Nobody likes a forced pen drop.
That's true, but I think we can let you have this one.
Oh, you're going to let me have it?
Yeah, I mean, you did just knock it on the table there.
That was an accident, actually.
Yeah.
Shut your fucking butt.
I did.
I'm putting it down.
Okay.
Not because you told me to.
So, thank you very much to everyone for listening.
Yeah, thanks very much. And remember how, like, just don't ever mention pens again or I'll fucking fight you and you can see what happens.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
I threw my pen. You know what? I'm going to throw your pen as well. Yeah.
I'm going to press stop.